going over 100 miles an hour down the metro.
Can I please get a warning? Please. But if I was a cop and a person told me, I'll be like.
The situation surrounding Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, has escalated dramatically, drawing significant attention due to his recent actions, which are now threatening his freedom. Young Thug, a prominent figure in the Atlanta rap scene, has found himself in hot water following his release from jail after a highly publicized RICO case involving his Young Stoner Life YSL collective. The rapper, who was released on probation after pleading guilty to various charges, is now facing a potential revocation of that probation due to a series of controversial moves, including his public criticism of a law enforcement officer and the content of his recent lyrics. These developments have sparked widespread discussion, not only about Young Thug's legal troubles, but also about the broader implications for other artists, such as Lil Baby, who are entangled in similar legal scrutiny in Atlanta. The complexity of this situation, rooted in gang-related allegations, social media activity, and the use of artistic expression as legal evidence, paints a vivid picture of the challenges faced by rappers navigating fame, legal constraints, and street affiliations. Young Thug's legal saga began in May 2022, when he was arrested alongside 27 others in a sweeping 56-count indictment filed by Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis. The charges, brought under Georgia's Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations RICO Act, allege that YSL, which operates as both a record label and, according to prosecutors, a criminal street gang known as Young Slime Life, was responsible for a range of criminal activities, including murder, robbery, and drug-related offenses. The indictment painted Young Thug as the leader of this alleged gang, dubbing him King Slime and accusing him of orchestrating violent acts, such as renting a car used in the 2015 murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., a member of a rival gang. The trial, which became the longest in Georgia's history, was fraught with complications, including a lengthy jury selection process, judicial recusals, and courtroom disruptions, such as the stabbing of a co-defendant. Ultimately, Young Thug accepted a non-negotiated plea deal in October 2024, pleading guilty to several charges, including drug and gun offenses, and no contest to RICO and gang-related counts. He was sentenced to 40 years, with 5 years commuted to time served, 15 years of probation, and a backloaded 20 years that would be enforced if he violated probation terms. The conditions of Young Thug's probation are stringent, reflecting the gravity of the charges and the prosecution's ongoing concerns about his influence. He is barred from residing in Metro Atlanta for the first 10 years of his probation, except for specific family-related events, and is prohibited from associating with gang members or co-defendants, with exceptions for his brother and rapper Gunna due to contractual obligations. Additionally, he must perform 100 hours of community service annually, including anti-gang and anti-gun violence presentations at schools or community organizations. Most critically, Young Thug is restricted from promoting gang activity, which includes avoiding lyrics, social media posts, or gestures that could be interpreted as endorsing criminal behavior. These restrictions were designed to ensure that he uses his platform responsibly, with the judge explicitly encouraging him to steer young fans away from violence and crime. However, Young Thug's actions since his release suggest he has struggled to adhere to these conditions. One of the most significant missteps was his public targeting of Marissa Viviero, a law enforcement officer and investigator with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation's Gang Task Force. Viviero has been involved in cases tied to Atlanta's gang activity, including the ongoing investigation into conflicts between the Only My Family OMF and Four Pockets Full 4PF groups, the latter associated with rapper Lil Baby. Young Thug posted on social media, calling Viviero the biggest liar in the office and reposting a message stating, "All my homies hate Viviero." These posts were interpreted by authorities as potentially threatening, raising concerns that Young Thug was inciting harm against a government official. Given his probation's explicit prohibition against actions that could be seen as promoting gang activity or intimidation, these posts have provided prosecutors with grounds to file a motion to revoke his probation. The motion argues that Young Thug's behavior, particularly his social media activity, violates the terms of his release and poses a risk to public safety. Compounding this issue is the content of Young Thug's recent music, particularly his song Money on Money, where he appears to reference ongoing tensions with former YSL associate Gunna. In the lyrics, he raps, "These guys telling for nothing, and I gotta be the one calling them friends," which many interpret as a diss aimed at Gunna for allegedly cooperating with authorities in the YSL RICO case. Gunna, whose real name is Sergio Kitchens, took an Alford plea in December 2022, pleading guilty to a single racketeering charge while maintaining his innocence. His plea resulted in a 5-year sentence, with 1 year commuted to time served, and the rest suspended, allowing him to walk free without further cooperation with prosecutors. Despite Gunna's insistence that he did not testify against Young Thug or others, the perception of snitching has lingered, fueled by social media and public discourse. Young Thug's lyrics and subsequent interviews where he sidestepped questions about his relationship with Gunna have kept this narrative alive, drawing further scrutiny from authorities monitoring his probation compliance. Young Thug's social media activity has also contributed to the case against him. In a tweet that garnered significant attention, he wrote, "If you are a rapper and you're a rat, you just got to gospel twin." This post, which went viral with over 100,000 likes and 3 million views, was seen as a direct jab at Gunna and others perceived as cooperating with law enforcement. The viral nature of the tweet, amplified by a fan's response suggesting Young Thug himself should pivot to gospel music to avoid legal trouble, brought additional attention from authorities. The Atlanta police and prosecutors, already vigilant due to the high-profile nature of the YSL case, viewed these actions as potential violations of probation, particularly given the clause prohibiting the promotion of gang activity. The public nature of these posts, combined with their inflammatory content, has strengthened the prosecution's argument that Young Thug is disregarding the terms of his release. The broader context of Young Thug's legal troubles also involves the ongoing investigation into Atlanta's rap scene, particularly the alleged gang affiliations of various artists. The Atlanta Police Department has linked Lil Baby, whose real name is Dominique Armani Jones, to the deaths of two 13-year-old boys, Lamont Freeman and Yakoti Davis, in July 2024. The incident, which occurred during a birthday party, was attributed to gang violence between OMF and 4PF, with authorities alleging that Lil Baby's decision to film a music video in a rival gang's territory sparked retaliatory violence. A woman's Facebook post announcing Lil Baby's presence at a taco shop during the shoot is said to have alerted rival gang members, leading to the shooting. Atlanta police have publicly blamed Lil Baby, with homicide commander Ralph Woolfolk stating that the rapper's cowardly acts contributed to the tragedy. This has led to Lil Baby's arrest for questioning and speculation about a potential RICO case targeting 4PF, similar to the one against YSL. The overlap between Young Thug and Lil Baby's legal issues is further complicated by claims from Whack 100, a music industry figure, who alleged that Gunna provided information about Lil Baby during a 2-hour interrogation. While these claims remain unverified, they have fueled speculation among fans and on social media that Gunna's plea deal involved cooperation that implicated others, including Lil Baby. This narrative has intensified the rift between Young Thug and Gunna, with Young Thug reportedly making calls from jail to other rappers, warning them to avoid Gunna due to his alleged cooperation. These actions, if true, could further jeopardize Young Thug's probation, as they suggest ongoing efforts to influence others in a manner that could be interpreted as gang-related activity. The use of rap lyrics as evidence in these cases has been a particularly contentious issue. In the YSL trial, prosecutors relied on Young Thug's lyrics, social media posts, and even clothing choices to argue that YSL was a criminal enterprise. This practice drew criticism from artists, fans, and free speech advocates who argued that it unfairly targets black artists and misconstrues artistic expression as literal confessions of criminal intent. The Protect Black Art movement, spearheaded by industry figures like Kevin Liles, gained traction in response, pushing for legislation to limit the use of lyrics in court. Despite these efforts, Fulton County Superior Court Judge Earl Glanville ruled in November 2023 that certain lyrics could be admitted as evidence, a decision that carried over to Young Thug's plea deal and now factors into the probation revocation motion. The current motion cites his recent lyrics as evidence of continued defiance of probation terms, reinforcing the prosecution's argument that he is unwilling to distance himself from the gang narrative.